Nicole from New Consulting, and welcome to New Talk, a video series that highlights businesses and organizations that are sparking positive change and celebrates the people who are making it happen. Today, I'm thrilled that Brett Batterson is here to talk with me about the performing arts during COVID-19. He played a big part in the early years of my career when he was the executive director at the Orpheum Theatre in Chicago. Today, Brett is the president and CEO of the Orpheum Theatre Group and the Halloran Center for the Performing Arts and Education in Memphis, Tennessee. The Orpheum hosts the Best of Broadway as well as concerts and comedians, and the Halloran Center launched a new music series in 2016 and a theater series in 2018. The theater group does more than just entertain. When Brett was 7, his dad passed away unexpectedly. As he grew up, he realized it was his involvement in the arts that gave him the tools to express himself, a group of supportive friends, and the self-confidence to achieve the success he has enjoyed in life. In 2017, he introduced Mending Hearts Camp, an arts camp for children who have experienced the death of a parent. This is the second camp he started, as he founded a similar camp, Hands Together Heart to Art, at the Orpheum Theatre in Chicago in 2005. COVID-19 has forced many theaters to close completely or reopen at significantly reduced capacities. The impact of approximately $12.5 billion in economic losses to date and 100,000 people out of work across the nation has been devastating. But creative workers are resilient, and many of them are finding ways to bring art back to the people. Today, Brett will talk about how he and his team reimagined bringing people back to the Orpheum as a socially distanced mini golf course, and where he thinks arts and live entertainment is going post-COVID-19. So you're all the way out in Colorado.
Yeah, I'm in Colorado celebrating my birthday, seeing my granddaughter.
Oh, it was yesterday. Happy birthday. Did you guys do anything fun?
No, we went to dinner. We just, when you've had as many birthdays as me, they're not big celebration time.
So how's your family?
Everybody's great. Everybody's great.
Good. How's the grandbaby doing?
Great.
Good.
11 months old.
Good.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell me what was going on at the Orpheum Theatre before COVID-19 hit.
We had 2 Broadway shows that were coming up in rapid succession, and we had a number of concerts scheduled. And we ended up closing. Our last show was actually a children's show called Diary of a Wombat on March the 14th. And we actually only did it because the performers were from Australia, and their whole tour, they got to the United States and their whole tour basically fell apart once they got here. So to let them do a show in the United States, we went ahead and did the student matinee on March the 14th. And then we closed. So we had a lot scheduled. We were on our way to having a record financial year because we started the year with Hamilton. And of course that did very well. And it actually carried us through the year. We still finished the year with a surplus, but everything fell apart in March.
Can you tell me about some of the education programs that you created?
So Jennifer McGrath, our Vice President of Education and Community Engagement, took all of her programs virtual this summer. It was kind of amazing. She really only canceled one program. The rest she was able to adapt, including Mending, which is the Memphis version of Heart to Art in Chicago. So she took them all online. They actually created some new programs for the online world, the virtual world. And, of course, the participation numbers were down, but the experience for the kids, they all seem to love it. So I think we have a whole generation of young people now who understand the internet and the computer, and they're happy connecting that way.
What type of activities did they do during the virtual camp?
Well, they used Zoom to the max. I mean, they were able to use breakout rooms, and so like in the Broadway boot camps, which is the little kids singing and dancing camps, some would go to one breakout room to sing, and others would go to another breakout room to dance. And then, of course, the final performances were very interesting because it was everybody in different, boxes. It was like Hollywood Squares. and then one person would get to sing and another kid would get to do something. But yeah, it worked well. I was really amazed that the engagement part of it worked so well.
Good. It's really great that the camp went virtual. So, how is everyone at the office adjusting to working remotely during COVID-19?
Well, we closed the office. So our last show was March 14th, and on March 17th, I believe that was the date, we decided everybody had to start working from home. And, you know, people adapted quickly, and it was fun for a while. It's interesting now, after all this time, because we opened up our offices again, then we closed them again because we had a surge. Now we've got some people that just really don't want to come back to the office. And then we've got some of us that go in every day when I'm in Memphis. I mean, I'm not going in now, but it's going to be interesting what happens when we decide it's time everybody comes back, because some of those people that really like working at home may not want to come back. But as you know, theater is a collaborative art, and it's really hard to collaborate and be creative when you're all in different places. So everybody's adapted, and we've made it work. We just recently started having people back in the building, so I think after Labor Day we'll be looking at more people coming to the office.
So, you just reopened the theater as a socially distanced mini golf course, and you're bringing back movies. Can you tell us all a little bit more about that?
Well, the mini golf idea was probably the craziest idea I've had since I created Hands Together Heart to Heart in Chicago. People looked at me like, what are you talking about? Our chief operating officer, Dacre Baptiste, and I were talking about ways we could try to make some money. And I don't know where the idea came from. I actually think it came from, in the back of my mind, remember bowling on stage at the auditorium in World War II. But I didn't think of that at the time. Later, I thought, oh, I bet that's what made me think of mini golf. And I just blurted out mini golf. And after we all laughed, we thought that was a pretty good idea. So we swung into action. I was a set designer in a former life, so I designed the holes, and then our stagehands, who had been not working, came in and built them, and we opened and have been selling out ever since. I mean, it's been fantastic, and that really became the first part of a 4-point plan of how to bring in income until we get full-blown shows again. So we opened mini golf, and then this past Friday we started showing movies again, which we've always shown movies in the summertime when we don't have a lot of shows. But it was good to bring those back, and like you said, we had socially distanced seating and seating pods, and everybody has to wear masks. And then just also on Friday we launched, or on Thursday maybe, we launched a recovery fundraising effort to help raise money for the Orpheum, and so far we've brought in about $70,000 in just like 2 or 3 days.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
And then we're going to start introducing small concerts as the fourth part will be some smaller concerts that bands that could not sell enough tickets to fill the Orpheum on a normal day allows us to bring them and have socially distanced seating and hopefully make a few dollars.
Yeah, it's great to see people bringing back the arts. What surprised you the most when you were reopening?
Well, I don't know if anything surprised me, because we've been in so many meetings for so long about how to reopen and what the protocols will be. They're slightly different by state, and in Tennessee even they're slightly different by county. So we really have to answer to our county health authority. So there weren't too many surprises in the protocols. But what is a little bit scary is when people will feel comfortable coming back. So we showed this movie last Friday, and we only sold 57 tickets, which, normally on a movie we'd sell 300 or 400 tickets. So there's still obviously a great fear of coming back together. So I think that's going to be the long-term, how do we build confidence among the audience?
Is there anything you wish you would have known before COVID-19?
How long it would last.
Okay.
I really naively, like most people, thought it wouldn't last that long, that it would be bad, but it would last, a couple weeks, a month. I had no idea that it was going to be now, what, 6 months and still counting with no end in sight.
Yeah.
And so I wish if I had known how long it was going to last, I would have launched mini golf a long time ago. Uh, but I kept thinking, okay, we're going to get back to shows. We're going to get back to shows.
Yeah.
But I think until there's a vaccine, we won't be able to have large scale productions.
So what do you think the arts and entertainment industry is going to look like post COVID-19?
I think there'll be a slow rebuilding of an audience. I think it's going to take a while for the audience to come back. I think we all have to lower our, sales goals and income expectations while the audience gets confident coming back. I don't think that the core of live entertainment is going to change. I've always felt that, people always said television will be a threat to live entertainment, radio will be a threat to live entertainment, the internet will be a threat to live entertainment. I always felt that people want to come together and experience the arts together. And I think that's still very true. So I think it's a matter of how long does it take before people stop thinking about COVID when they come to the theater.
And thank you for watching the first episode of New Talk. Next time, we'll talk with Monica Bright from Enhanced Body about how she put her entire yoga studio online during COVID-19 shutdown. See you again soon.